It's Monday, December 27th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy who believes that with great power comes great free stuff from all kinds of people, J.P. Shadrick.
It is that time of year. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday afternoon. J.P. Shadrick. We've got a busy show as always on Monday. Coming up, senior writer for CBS Sports, Pete Prisco, down in South Florida. Pride of the Jaguars left tackle Tony Boselli will join us. As always, we'll review Week 16. Jets 26, Jaguars 21. The Jags had the ball at the 1-yard line and couldn't score. Social media questions are all over the place today. We're going to get through a bunch of them, and we'll go around the league and hear some radio calls in week number 16. Well, the Jags fell short in New York. Now 7 straight losses for the Jags. The defense gave up 273 rushing yards, tied for the 4th most in franchise history allowed for the Jaguars defense. Special teams gave up another kickoff return touchdown and some other long ones as well. The offense had the ball in their hands on a 2-minute drill, got down to the 1-yard line, but short, and interim head coach Darrell Bevell after the game on that final possession and situation.
So at the end, we ended up having that play where the ball, I think, almost got tipped, and then Marvin ended up catching it on the 1, and we ended up spiking it, to get the clock stopped there on 3rd down. So that, to be able to try to get us into the best play. And then, we just didn't do a good job of communicating and getting lined up on the last play. It should have given us plenty of time, but, we didn't execute it very well there.
That's Darrell Bevell after the game. Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli joining us now. Pete, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, that's a poor explanation for what happened at the end of the game. Okay, they botched it. There's a better explanation for it. You botched it. You don't spike it on 3rd down. The downs are more valuable. Play football. And why were you running it in the middle of the field with 1 minute and 5 seconds left? What are they doing? And I heard people blaming Trevor for that. I had guys texting me saying, was that on Trevor? How does he not know? Did they tell him in his helmet to spike it? Do we know that?
Do not know that.
Well, I don't know. I do not know that. But I think when they lined up, I think they 20 seconds or something like that, 18, 20 seconds when they got, try to get everything organized. You had plenty of time, to your point, Pete, to do quick hand signals, run a fade, run some combination route, rub route, whatever. You should have gotten 2 shots in the end zone instead of a spike and then 4th down, which, by the way, was all over the place from a standpoint of not being organized and not knowing how to line up. Which
so they used the 3rd down well to get organized and get the right play on 4th down. Come on.
What are we doing? And then, you look at – I agree with you. The thing that I don't think is getting enough coverage is no timeouts left. Zone read or whatever it was, a minute left. I'm like, what do we do? It was interesting, to say the least. And a couple of things, though, I thought that were a little bit surprising to me. One, the NFL didn't stop play and review whether Marvin Jones was in the end zone or not, because it was really close.
Agreed.
It was really, really close. So
I watched it again on the game. Did you watch the tape today? Because on the tape, it looks like he's almost in.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures. I've not watched it. I've been running around dealing with some family stuff today. So had not seen that. But, yeah, I agree with you, Pete. It looked like to me from the angle. Now, the angles can fool you. But it looked like it at least deserved to be stopped to play and take a look.
So here's one of those, if they're not rushing to spike the ball, do you think they have time to stop the play and look at it?
Well, the NFL should be getting that before anyone else does, like in real time. This is what they do. They have 50,000 televisions in the New York office. They should have seen a glance at it. One glance says, stop, buzz, stop play. Because all they have to do is buzz them. As long as the buzzer comes before the play, you're fine. But JP, it's a fair question. If they take an extra couple seconds to call a play, do they maybe get it reviewed and maybe win the game? Now, it was a break. Let's be honest. That should have been a pick six. I mean, it's
You're
pick
right.
six. It wasn't a tip. It was a dropped interception that ricocheted to Marvin Jones. I mean,
it was a terrible decision.
Yes, it was a gift. I mean, that should have been taking house call the other way. And by the way, if I put my Pete Prisco hat on, what's best for organization, the best thing happened. Got experience in a 2-minute situation, great learning, and lost. We're probably going to have the number 1 overall pick.
I was amazed that you just said that because I was sitting there watching in the green room yesterday, and I told those guys, I go, on Monday when I go on with Boselli, I say this is great for the organization. He always argues with me. I wore you down. You're done. You're finished.
Wow. I never thought I'd hear it ever.
But I mean, if you're looking at it, if you take all the emotion out of it, from a player or a coach's perspective, having the number 1 pick's better than not. If you're going to stink, like, why stink so bad and get the number 3 pick?
Right, and you proved you could drive it in the 2-minute drill. You just didn't finish it. And by the way, on second down, Marvin Jones, almost in the exact same spot on the other side, is wide open, and he decided to throw it to the back. Why, I have no idea.
No idea. But the other thing is, it was a gift that they were in that game as well. If Ron Middleton wasn't allergic to kicking field goals, it would have been
that was like a how not to for a coaching resume, dude.
It's like someone told them you're not allowed to kick field goals today. I mean, all in all, kind of like it ended up kind of how you probably deserved. I mean, the bottom line is we still don't make enough plays.
No.
I did like the fact that we're pushing the ball down the field. We push the ball down the field. Guys don't catch it. They don't hang on to it. They don't make plays. It has to be like perfect. Everything has to be like perfect. That's not how the NFL works. So you need, receivers doing something. I thought Trevor was much better. Now, did he benefit from the fact that he was playing the worst defense in the NFL, who was without 5 starters because of COVID? Yes. Was it benefited from that's the worst pass rush in the history of mankind, so you have time back there? Yes.
He stood back there all day yesterday.
Those are all good things. Did it help him that he was playing against a secondary that had, like, guys who showed up 30 seconds before the game and put a Jets jersey on for the first time? Yes. All things that helped. It doesn't matter. It was a good day overall. He learned, and hopefully can be a confidence builder, and the kid can play. I mean, we've said that all along. Put some weapons around him. Give him a little bit of time. He has huge upside.
There was I think it was RotoWorld put out a tweet today about how he's the worst quarterback in throwing the ball down the field in some time or something. And I'm like, okay, but if Treadwell has to catch that one down the field.
Marvin Jones, the other one?
Marvin Jones on that one had to catch that one. I mean, there were 2 big plays that were dropped. And then there were a couple other drops as well. Marvin Jones dropped 2, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, it's just, look, he was better. It's funny to see, and he still, his accuracy at times is okay. But I'll give you an example, Tony. There was a play where he hit Treadwell on the cross from the right. It came in from the right side, where he opened to the left, looked, stood, moved up in the pocket, and then fired a shot to the middle of the field for about 16 yards, I think it was, on the right side. The very next play, he comes back, I think it was, he didn't wait long enough, and he had I think it was the tight end behind him on the back. But those are the things where you can see it's there. It's just a matter of when it gets there consistently, because he has it.
Yeah, I agree.
And now the trick's going to be the running game. Obviously, 2 weeks to go. James Robinson is done, a torn Achilles. That was awful. A non-contact play early. And, it's going to be Ogunbowale a lot of the way, it sounds like, the rest of the way at running back.
Yeah,
well, he missed a bunch of holes yesterday. And when you watch the tape, there were some cavernous holes there, and he missed them.
Well, he's not a guy who's a great cutback guy.
No.
He's downhill, 1 to 0 cuts. He's not going to jump cut, see the backside, and get there. It's just not.
I feel sorry for James. I feel really bad for James Robinson because he handled everything this year like a pro. Could have been complaining and moaning and groaning. And I know he went on with Brett Martineau and those guys and complained a little bit, but not really. When he was asked the question, he answered it. And they tried to get rid of him. They drafted a guy to replace him. They didn't give him the ball the first couple of weeks. He carried the ball, got going. Then he got hurt. Then he fumbled. Then he was benched. Then he was set. I mean, the whole thing has been a disaster for him. And you wonder now, will he ever be the same guy? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Cam Akers just came back, is already on his way back now after tearing his Achilles earlier in the year. But that can sometimes be a tough injury to come back from for a running back.
Well, the good news is, much like, the ACL of old, it's every year it gets better and better, the surgery and the rehab and how guys return from that, Pete. So, I mean, Cam Akers is active after 5.5 months. You'd have never seen that in the past. It was a 12-month injury. And so, he's a young guy. He's going to have the best medical team and surgeons and rehab, that you can get. And let's hope for the best. But the reality is the concern is, he was one of the guys I was talking about you can build around.
Right.
Now you can't.
Now you got
now
questions.
You can't count on it. You have all kinds of questions. So now you're looking at, okay, now we got to go maybe address the running back position.
So now how many guys on offense can you build around?
I got like two, maybe two and a half, three. I was at 3 to 4 before. Now it's Cam. It's Cam Robinson and Trevor.
That's it.
That's
Ben
two.
Barch, maybe.
ETN.
I don't know about ETN. I haven't seen him.
Is he going to be
No,
okay?
How do you know?
Who knows?
You don't know, but he's going to be there. But you're right.
Well, I know you're going to be. He's going to be there, but I didn't see anything in training camp that I think he's a 20 carry guy between the tackles, running back.
No, I don't either. I mean,
I hope I'm wrong.
Nowadays, how many guys are though, Tony?
No, you had one until he just tore his Achilles.
Well, no, he didn't get 20 carries in a game this season. No, 18 was his high. 18.
Okay, last year he was. How about that?
think about that. He never got 20 carries in a game.
Unreal. Hey, we got plenty ahead, of course. We'll come back. We've got plenty of defensive talk. Zach Wilson ran through the Jaguars like a deer yesterday. Zach Wilson. We'll get to some reasons why. A little later, special teams talk. That'll cheer us up. Second hour, your social media questions and much more. We are off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. And by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150. Built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
It's Monday Madness at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
What are you, crazy?
It's not crazy. Pick up the official smoothie of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval Delight, for just $2.99 at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
I don't think you're crazy.
It's Monday Madness at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
What are you, crazy?
It's not crazy. Pick up the official smoothie of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval Delight, for just $2.99 at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
I don't think you're crazy.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli recapping a Jaguars loss to the New York Jets. And just a few moments ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars have made a number of roster moves, including officially placing running back James Robinson on injured reserve. They have added 10 players to the reserve COVID-19 list this afternoon. Here they are: tight end Dan Arnold, defensive tackle Malcolm Brown, defensive end outside linebacker Caleb Unchazon, tight end Luke Farrell, defensive tackle Devon Hamilton, center Brandon Linder, tight end Chris Manhertz, defensive end and outside linebacker Laurenti McCray, guard Andrew Norwell, and defensive lineman Jahad Ward. They've added one practice squad player to the practice squad COVID list. That's Jared Hawker, an offensive lineman. Claimed 2 players off waivers from the Rams, linebacker Jameer Jones and running back Mekhi Sargent. 10 active players added to the 4 already there on the COVID-19 list, guys. Pete, that's crazy, Tony.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. I mean, just look at where the Jets went last week. It started off like with 8, and then they went to 14, then they went to 17, then the head coach. Like, this Omicron deal, I mean, I'm not a scientist, but just looking around, I don't think the vaccine's all that effective. It doesn't feel like it because everyone's getting it, regardless of vaccine or not.
It's milder, though.
Well, like most viruses, and let me just be really careful here because I'm going to play doctor on radio. But everything I've been told is that viruses like this typically get more contagious and weaker as they mutate, and I think that's what you're seeing. Early I got that first
virulent.
That's virulent. I got the early case where I about killed. It was like kill you, and it's slowly devolving where it's not as bad, but it's super contagious. I mean, it just spreads like it's like a cold. Remember the old days before COVID was around? Like there are these things called colds that go around, and everyone would get them. Like it would go through the locker room, and you'd play the game. Some guys would have runny noses. Some guys would have a cough. As long as you were hydrated and you weren't having a fever, like you played the game.
Well, I mean, Andrew Norwell played 70-something snaps yesterday, and he's on the list today.
But that's my point, Pete. I guess what I'm saying, I think it's going to get worse. Like, I think the NFL, forget the Jaguars right now, because I hate to say this, but the NFL doesn't care about whether the Jaguars have COVID or not, because they're not in the playoffs, they're not going to impact the playoffs, whatever. They do worry about the game because New England's in the playoffs. They got to make sure the game gets played tomorrow because it impacts the overall standing. Where the NFL has a big issue coming, Pete, is playoffs in January.
Yeah, but maybe by then, because like in South Africa, it ran through and it was gone in about 3 weeks.
No, I think they got an issue coming. I think
I did the research. It was gone in South Africa in about 3 weeks.
Okay, Pete, I hope you're right. I'm just thinking, here we go.
But like in the next couple of weeks, you're right. It's going to be. Well, didn't they stop testing asymptomatic players too?
Yeah,
correct.
You're not,
if you're vaccinated.
Correct.
So that means all those people are either unvaccinated or vaccinated and have symptoms.
Right.
But like, what symptoms?
Well, let's put it this way. if you were playing back in the day, Boselli, and you had a stuffy nose,
I would be taking. Let me tell you what I'd be doing. If I'm just being completely honest.
would you tell people you were symptomatic?
No.
I didn't think he would.
I'd be taking like Tylenol, cold and flu, dry up my sinuses.
He'd be spreading it through the entire locker room. There's a fungus among us. It's Boselli.
Now, the flip side of that is, I mean, my guess is I probably would be honest, because what you don't want to do is be the reason the whole team's out.
Right.
Like you either have to make a pact as a team, like, hey, listen, guys, we're in this together. We're not reporting anything unless you're like really, really sick. And if you're not really sick,
somebody really, really sick, and then he ends up in like where you were in March 2 years ago.
Yeah, but Pete, everything I'm reading in this Omicron, that's not the case.
No. Yeah, I heard it's definitely less. We've had it run through our building recently at work, and we all had to be tested again, and nobody, the guy who had it didn't even have any symptoms. He was tested because another guy had it.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I mean,
let's be real. Testing's a big business.
It is. I mean, I should have got into it much years ago.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, yeah, it's nuts.
So
because I've had to take tests because of close contacts over the weeks of people. And I mean, I have no symptoms, but you never know. Take the test, you're like, I wonder if it's going to come back positive or negative, because you don't have to have symptoms to get this stuff, to have it.
But you're right, though. Any little sniffle and you're, COVID. I got COVID. Everybody thinks they have COVID now. The flu and the cold have gone away.
They don't exist. Except for my wife's the exact opposite. She just thinks, because I'm overly cautious. We have the radio show and we have the broadcast, and the NFL has its rules. It was so funny. My wife, this was weeks ago, and I came home. She's like, runny nose, not feeling good. I'm like, you got to get tested. She's, I don't have COVID. It's called a cold, Tony. I have a cold. That's all I have. And this is before the Omicron. And this is months ago. And I'm like, no, and she, I mean, the best is, so I went and got tested just because that's what you do. And she goes, it comes back negative. And she just looked at me. She says, I told you, I have a cold. There's such things as cold still. Because you're right, Pete. I tell that story because you don't know, and every sniffle or cough or heck, because you travel. I mean, you don't travel as much as I do anymore. But you're on the plane, you hear someone coughing or sneezing, you're like, "Oh, great, COVID, here we go." Right. The reality is, it could just be a head cold.
Right.
So either way, there are 14 names on the list at the moment. That means.
Well, I guess it's gonna increase, JP. I think. I mean, I don't want to be Debbie Downer or a doomsday guy here. And I hope no one gets sick. That's most important. I mean, I hope no one gets seriously sick. I hope it is just a cold, like Pete and I are talking about.
Correct.
God forbid anyone getting really sick. I mean, I have relatives who are older, who are very susceptible and have other underlying conditions. So, I mean, I got tested last week coming home from travel, even though I felt no symptoms, just to make sure before I went on. So we don't want anyone to get sick. But good news is these are young guys. They're healthy. The reality is they'll probably be fine. But I think the list is going to grow. I think the numbers will grow. I think if it's 10 today, I wouldn't be surprised if it's near 20 by Wednesday.
And then you got to prep for the game
on
like Sunday.
Like the rest of the season, they're going to be playing with a lot of practice squad looking players this week.
Well, listen, maybe it works out because the last 2 weeks we played teams that were ravaged by COVID and weren't very good, and they beat us. So maybe we can be the team ravaged by COVID and beat the team.
Well, JP already guaranteed this one. Remember a long time ago.
No.
What if
the Jets won too?
Yeah. What if
he's done?
It was a sweep of the AFC East, and what if it's the Jets of all teams that ruin that block? Yeah.
Well,
you don't actually believe that, do you, JP?
No. No, I don't. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, before the COVID news, they were only 16.5-point underdogs. So my guess is that's going to increase as the COVID cases increase. But let's go back to the bigger issue. The NFL has a problem, Pete. I don't know how they're going to get through the last. I mean, knowing the NFL, they'll just push through and say, we are going and figure it out. We are playing games. But we've seen the NHL shut down.
By the way, 99% of the league is vaccinated in the NHL.
And they've shut down because, I mean, by the reports, and again, I'm all pro-vaccine. I've been vaccinated. I've had it.
Me
Get
too.
vaccinated. I think it's smart. It sure doesn't feel like the vaccine's working against this Omicron then, because everyone's getting it. I mean, maybe get boosted.
They're going to be playing games. There's going to be look at the Saints tonight. They're playing without input. Look at all the guys they're not playing with tonight.
Right.
They're starting Ian Book.
Right. And they tried to reach out to Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, allegedly. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. You know
Maybe
what it's like, though?
If Trevor Lawrence got COVID, maybe the Jaguars could call Brunell.
I've seen him throw it. He can spin it still. You know what's interesting to me, what I love about the NFL? The arrogance, it's not arrogance, because this is a good thing. Like, the attitude of the NFL is like, we're playing football, like, figure it out. I don't care if you have to go find the 50th quarterback. Go find the 50th quarterback. You're playing. This is the season. We are playing. Where you see these other leagues like the NHL shut down, NBA's have all kinds of issues. They're canceling games left and right. And the NFL is like, nope. Pedal to the metal, baby.
Now, part of that, too, is like the NHL is what NBA's 80 games, right? NHL is about that. So they got many more games.
Well, not only that, you in the NHL and in the NBA, you could push and move it out.
That's right.
You can't move the Super Bowl.
No.
Everybody's got you got this plans there.
Well, and listen, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but the amount of people who care about the NHL Stanley Cup or the NBA playoff finals compared to the people who care about the Super Bowl is minuscule. I mean, corporations plan their entire year around the Super Bowl.
Correct. By the way, here's the other thing. Last week you had in the 12 last days, 9 of them have had primetime football. The NFL hates that COVID is doing this, but in the back of their mind, they're not so bad. Did you see the ratings for those Tuesday games last week?
No.
My God.
Were they big?
Yeah. Yes, and they were split. You could only get one or the other.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, listen, we said it last year. I'll say it again. I could argue that the NFL should be playing games on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, pick it back up on Friday, take Friday.
Can't play on Friday.
Pick it up on Thursday, take Friday off, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, they just did that.
That's what
they just
people
did it.
want. That's my point, Pete. That's what people want.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, I always see your brethren, some of the national brethren saying, "Oh, it's too much. It's too much football. It's going to be a diluted product." The fans say no.
No,
we love it. Fantasy football, gambling. This is what we do. We want it more.
Right.
Give us more.
More and more. You can't feed the beast enough.
It's the greatest reality TV known to mankind.
Correct.
Speaking of that, the reality was Sunday that Zach Wilson ran all over the Jaguars defense. We'll get into that performance.
Oh, my gosh. We got to talk, Pete. I mean, JP and Pete, I did see this. We got to talk about that 52-yard run and some of the effort by some of the players in that. We got to dive into that. We got to dissect it.
We're going to go
deep.
We're going to take a deep dive when we come back. A deep dive coming up on the defensive performance yesterday. Of course, the second hour, your social media questions and much more ahead. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
It's time for sunshine and summer showers, so it's more important than ever to make sure you call Crystal Clean for all your waterproofing needs. Waterproofing can extend the life of your building by keeping water outside where it belongs. And that Florida sun can beat up your business's paint job. Crystal Clean's painting services can bring your building back to life. From waterproofing to painting, schedule Crystal Clean today. Call 904-220-3337 or go to crystalclean.com. You don't have to worry when it's crystal clean.
It may be football season, but pests are in full force here in Jacksonville. That's why you need Kingfish Pest Control's $99 knockdown treatment. Kingfish Pest Control will safely eliminate spiders, ants, roaches, and more for just $99, backed by their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned with thousands of A-plus customer reviews. They're hands down the best pest control company in Metro Jacksonville and a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let the pros tackle the pest in your home. Go to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com.
At Ameris Bank, we know that you have a dream. Maybe it's opening a second location for your business. Maybe it's owning a home. Perhaps it's building your nest egg or even buying that new piece of equipment. From car loans to corporate loans, from depositing your first check to setting up your business's payroll, we're here to make your dream possible. It's possible together. See what's possible at amerisbank.com/stories. Ameris Bank is a member FDIC. All loans are subject to credit approval.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday afternoon after Week 16. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. Jaguars fell to the Jets 26-21. And in yesterday's game, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense allowed the Jets to run all over them all day long. 273 rushing yards, tied for the fourth most allowed in Jaguars franchise history. Zach Wilson could not be stopped. 4 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown of 52 yards. His previous long or high in yardage rushing in the NFL this year, he's a rookie, of course, was 33 yards. His high in college was 73 yards back when he was a spry 18-year-old in 2018. Well, he goes for 91, including 52 on one play, Tony, and about 4 guys had a chance and missed.
Let's watch this again to see who the quitters were.
Let's break down. Okay, here he goes. He's running down the sideline. Okay, we're not going to tackle you. Okay. And why is no one diving in there?
Yeah, so Smoot missed the sack.
A little part of that is a little, you're going out of bounds, and then you don't go out of bounds.
Okay, go rewind that. Rewind it. I want to rewind it. Rewind it. Okay, right here. Watch Jason. Slow down. He thinks he's running out of bounds.
Jason's about 5 yards behind the play, slowing down. See
Rudy Ford. Guess what you do? You don't run behind him if you think he's running. Run in front of him. Force him to run out of bounds. If you're running behind him, like you're setting yourself to be embarrassed like this, and this is what happened. What are you running behind him? Run in front of him, and then dive.
Well, here's the other. But let me ask you this: is there a part of it that's tacky for not going out of bounds?
No, I love it
because he made it look like he was going out of bounds, and then he didn't. And sometimes you remember like Kenny Pickett looked like he was going to slide and then didn't slide in that game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's different. And they changed the rule after that, by the way.
Yeah,
correct.
That didn't look like he was running out of bounds. Like he never slowed down. He was running full speed.
Yes, he did.
No, I disagree.
Show it again. Show it again. He did look like he was going out of bounds.
Kind of a high step. It's not really a slow down. It's like a
Yeah.
kind of okey doked him is what he did, and that's fine. Hey, they're right there at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, like I why is Chase on slowing down? Go back, why is Cisco go, run, sprint, game's on the line.
I'll be honest with you. Now that I look at it, when I watched it first, I thought it looked like he was going out of bounds, and he didn't.
He just kept running. I mean, what's he supposed to do?
Like Pete, he plants and cuts back.
It's an awful display of hustle. It's an awful display of tackling. It's an awful display of football awareness.
And Pete, because if Rudy Ford cuts him off in front, he forces him out of bounds. Look at the angle. It's a terrible angle.
Well, Winger didn't make a very good play.
Yeah, he whiffed on him.
It was the Ole. It's like, here we go. And my point of saying that is, and I've been a big fan of Rudy Ford. I think Rudy Ford is a good find. But this is 2 weeks in a row. You go look at the kickoff return week before, whoever we played at Houston. Rudy Ford did not have a courageous moment of going in there to make the tackle. And JP, you've seen it. I know you have. And then this right here, it's back-to-back weeks. Come on. You can't do that. Because I think he's a good football player. Cisco, you're getting your first chance on the field. Man, you should be busted. And he played good. He did some really good things. But you have to bust it on every play. That's what good teams do, by the way. That's what good defenses do. Chase on, what are you doing? Go. Until he's out of bounds, go.
Yeah,
that's inexcusable.
Yeah, and that's a bunch of young players who deserve to see that over and over again in the film room.
If I was coach, I wouldn't even say a word. I just go, okay, this is what I would do. And I probably can't get away with this today, but this is what would have happened. And then back in high school, when I was a high school coach, this is what I do. I just go and I wouldn't yell. I just keep on going back and forth. And I say, hey, so-and-so, can you explain to me what's going on here? Are you going full speed? And I just ask questions in front of everybody. And then back to the next guy. Hey, so-and-so, good angle here? Did you quit on the play? Why'd this guy score? Like, there has to be accountability. You don't have to rip guys.
No, I agree. By
the way, you don't have to rip them. You don't have to call them names. This is professional football, though. There needs to be accountability. And you know what? When you have a good team, you don't even have to do that as a coach because the players in the locker room. If that would have happened in the locker room I was in, you would have got ripped. Not by the coaches. Well, Tom would have ripped us too. But the players. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what's the point of lollygagging? There's no win to lollygagging because it's going to be everybody's going to see it.
It only hurts you, especially if you're like a bubble player and
you're going to see it. The tape is out there. Everybody's going to see it.
Yeah.
I used to say all the time, I would play hard, and I'm sure that someone could find tape of me doing something stupid. I guarantee it. But I'd go in, and after the game, I'd be thinking of like every play because I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want my peers around the league. I knew that every defensive line coach would be watching my tape, and the defensive line would be watching them. And who I was as a player is my signature I put on that tape. That's who you are.
I agree.
And as a player, you have to understand that. That's who you are. And the only way you overcome that, if you're Rudy Ford or any of the other guys or Chase on or whoever it is, you got to say, that'll never happen to me again. And if that happens, if you take that away, then guess what? You'll be okay.
Well, just like at the end of the game last night, if I'm a personnel guy and I put on the Washington team and I want to see who's playing hard still at the end of that game.
I used to say it all the time. You find out in blowouts who your guys are. Who are the dudes who care? Who are the dudes who are like, I'm a pro, and you know what? I don't care. And I'll tell you a story. We were playing the Patriots one year, and I'm not going to tell you the individual on the offensive line who said this to me. And we were down, like 2 or 3 scores in the second half. And, it's mid third quarter, and here we go. This is what Tom said. Okay, we're down. We're going 2 minutes, and we are chucking it around the field. We're going to get back in this thing. And as an offensive lineman, that is miserable. It is flat miserable. When you have the likes of Willie McGinnis and Chris Slade and all these Patriots come in, and Teddy Bruschi and everyone else, and they have their hand on the ground, and their ears pinned back, and they're coming after you, it's a long quarter and a half. It's brutal. And I remember we're sitting there, and we're getting ready to go on the field, and Tom goes, we're going 2 minutes. And one of my offensive line mates was like, oh, come on, what are we doing? And started complaining. And I looked at him and said, hey, listen, dude, this is what we signed up for. Stop complaining and let's go. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, woo, this is going to be fun. Let's do one-on-one pass pro against all-pro defensive ends for 45 minutes. But guess what? That's the game. That's what you sign up for. You got to go.
What'd you tell Wydell?
I guarantee you it wasn't Wydell. Wydell was retired by then. Because listen, I've had from high school through, if I think back, there's a couple moments where I had coaches question. They turn on the tape and I didn't look great, and they questioned me, and that hurt me because I never wanted to be questioned as a player about effort.
Well, you don't want to be questioned ever about anything, and particularly about your work ethic.
That's my point.
Right.
And so this is
if you're not good, you're not good. There's none of the work ethic in the world will make you good.
Forget
right.
about that.
You're talking about good players who don't show work ethic.
I think Rudy Ford's a good football player.
Straight line.
But my point is, he's a good guy. Like, I want him on my team as at least a special teams and a down-the-line secondary player.
Correct.
But what I've seen the last 2 weeks, come on, Rudy, what is that? Like, for the 3/4 of the season, up until the last 2 weeks, you've been a rock star, flying around, making plays, violent. Come on, man. You got to do it for 16 games.
You know what, JP? He didn't call out his team, his players when he was in high school, but he just called out Rudy Ford.
I was about to say, he's going after the 21 Jags.
No, but come on. I mean, are we not sitting here watching it? I mean, it's not like
no. You have every right to call him out.
I'm not bringing back, and I like Rudy Ford.
You don't have to preface it by saying that. He dogged it on the play. Just say it. Why can't you? You sound like a network analyst sometimes. Oh well, just say it.
First of all, I'm only saying I like him because you idiots are coming after me now, so I'm defending myself.
So, hey, plenty ahead. We need to hear from Trevor Lawrence. We haven't done that yet. We'll hear from the Jags quarterback.
We got to talk about the Whirlybird coming up too. Did you see it?
Oh yeah, that's going to be. Oh,
Tony, I sent out on my Twitter. Look at the Whirlybird was in action again yesterday.
Okay, I gotta look it up. I haven't seen it. I've been off
Tony,
Twitter.
we'll do a little research. We'll go through the draft order when we come back as well. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. Liftoff. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
Healthcare coverage for less? Yes. Now, because of the new healthcare stimulus, you can get better benefits, more coverage, and pay less with a Florida Blue plan. Claim your savings today. Visit floridablue.com/getcovered now. Policies have limitations and exclusions. If you already had health insurance in 2021, speak with an agent to find out how changing plans could impact your deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums. Florida Blue and Health Options Incorporated, DBA Florida Blue HMO, are independent licensees of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Compared to all the games, it's tough to say, but like I said, the guys, they played great up front. You can't ask for anything more. Hardly any pressures at all. I had a lot of time, and that was an emphasis I wanted to make this week too, was sitting in there, trusting those guys a little bit more instead of looking to scramble. So just sitting in there, trusting those guys, allowing myself to have an opportunity to make the plays downfield. And you saw we made a lot of them. We even left some out there that we got to hit, missed a couple throws. A couple guys go up, make the play. Like there's still more plays out there as well as we, or as many big plays as we hit. So that's a positive thing.
That's Trevor Lawrence. He was sacked once, hit 4 times in the game yesterday. The loss to the New York Jets, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans. And veterans, choose VA for the benefits you earned. Visit choose.va.gov. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli, second hour coming up. Of course, at the top of the hour, we'll get your social questions. We'll go around the NFL. We'll continue to recap the Jags' loss yesterday. The one sack, though, in the game was costly. It was a 19-yard sack and a fumble and a return of 6 yards to flip the field. And it was not pretty. Not pretty.
I saw the whirlybird.
What is that?
It's not. I mean, a lot of teams do it, Pete.
But usually he has to take inside.
You can't miss the guy. How about that?
Right. Well, the idea is who's supposed to block the outside guy? The tight end coming across, right?
Yeah. Yes. And then Linder should have tried to get around to get Mosley. Here's the deal. The Jets hit it right with the blitz. That's a tough block when the blitz is on. And they hit it right with the blitz. And that's a situation where Trevor has to learn, like, okay, I know the play. I know the situation. Like, punting's okay. I just, get down, take the sack. Like, how many times have we seen Tom Brady when that situation, he just goes down. He's like, okay, I'm done. Like the good ones know. It's like it's over.
I don't remember you guys ever using the whirlybird, did you?
Trying to think. I mean, on reverses and stuff, like some reverse pivots and stuff like that, we didn't call it the whirlybird. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad concept. It's just Trevor's got to be smarter. I mean, he's got to know, like, hey, I got to know. You have to have ball security. And if you're going to try to run away like that, because he is athletic, so athletic quarterbacks can do it. We've seen it. You got to have great ball security. I mean,
two of the worst plays of the year came because of the whirlybird.
Well, it's not. Yeah, maybe we should take it out of the playbook right now. Hey, speaking only because we talked about this earlier. I just saw on Twitter because I was looking through Pete's stuff that, and this is Caitlin Collins, who's this CNN correspondent for
the White House.
White House, coming out that the CDC is now shortening the isolation period for people who test positive, not just who are around it, from 10 days to 5 days. And that, you're free to go after 5 days, just wear a mask for the following 5 days. I mean, and so I think my point of saying this is what Pete and I were saying earlier, this new variant is more of a cold that comes on quicker, leaves quicker. And the hope is, going back to our comments about how will this impact the rest of the season. Obviously, big story right now with the 10 guys from the Jaguars. And I did see online, and the only reason I bring this up because it was on Twitter, that Andrew Dorrell is out no matter what for 10 days, according to the NFL, because he's unvaccinated. So he's going to be out for sure for the game. But there might be a number of other guys on that list that will be ready to go by the game of this Sunday.
They got to test back in.
Yeah,
Right.
based on the new. This is even saying it doesn't even say it's a test. It's just after 5 days you're good to go.
That's CDC. That's not the NFL. The NFL, you got to test back in.
Right.
My
And
point
we'll
is-
see if the league
my point
changes
is
their stance.
Watch the NFL change it, Pete. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I'll bet you dinner by the end of the week the NFL is going to say, "Go."
Where's
I'm back
dinner?
to play after 5 days.
Where's dinner?
By the way, what do you call that variant? I want you to say it again for me.
Omicron. What is it?
JP, what variant? What's the name of the variant?
Hang on. I gotta look. I don't know.
Not Omicron.
Yeah, it is. It's Omicron. Omicron.
Omicron. Omicron.
What is it, Pete?
It's not the Omni
not-
in Atlanta.
It's not the Atlanta Omicron.
How do you spell it?
Omicron.
Oh, Omicron.
You're still not saying it right.
The house that Dominique built. Great.
Omicron. Omicron.
Unbelievable.
It keeps it within the theme of the show, though. No matter where we go, there's always a butchering of her name.
I didn't even catch on to it until you just now.
I did see something on Twitter. This was 2 weeks ago that there was a question on Twitter, and then I looked online and they said nobody actually knows exactly what the right pronunciation of Omicron. It's not Omni, to your point. I butchered it. I'm not saying that, but people all
Right.
like, how
Nobody
do you
knows how to
actually
say
this?
it. I see it.
Wow.
But I brought that up because I think this is just coming across in the last 10. Ian Rappaport just did 5 minutes ago that from the CDC they're changing. So this is a moving target with this whole with the whole deal, and it'll be interesting to see how the NFL reacts. We saw them last week with no CDC guidance, basically come out and say, if you're vaccinated and you're close contact, we don't care anymore. You're playing football.
Well, you got to remember the CDC and everybody else, everybody follows the NFL.
Well, but if the CDC goes this far, you watch the NFL is coming back and says, we're done testing. Play football.
Right.
Tee it up. Let's take a look at the
But that's actually good news. Hold on, JP. That's to me, and I know we have to be careful still because there are compromised individuals, underlying health conditions, or older. We still got to be careful. I'm not saying everyone freak out and it's over, but this is as a country, this is good that this thing is becoming less serious as far as getting people sick. And saying that I was just talking to a buddy of mine who runs the health system, and he says we're seeing people come in, but we're seeing less people who have Omicron, whether they're vaccinated or not, ending up in the ICU really sick. And so this is good. And trust me, I got a family member right now who is sick with this and it feels like, what? But overall, I just want to I think all of us, whether you're an NFL fan or not, want this behind us so we can go on and not every 5 seconds you're worried about, this dang virus. So hopefully this is the start of us getting to the other side of it. And selfishly, from an NFL fan standpoint, someone who works around the NFL, I hope it does not impact the playoffs because I think we are getting ready to have one of the best playoffs that we've had in a long time because there is so much parity amongst the top teams. There is not one team or two teams that you need to say are dominant. Even the Green Bay Packers, if you look at their point differential, they win a bunch of close games. And they're the best team, and they're going to have probably the number 1 seed. So this is going to be a great playoffs, and I don't want to see it interrupted with this dang virus.
By the way,
because you're right. These playoffs are going to be fantastic.
Unfortunately, we just have to sit here and watch it though. Again, that's the problem.
Well, that's a different story,
Right.
JP. We're going to break down the second. I mean,
and you know what? The way things are going, you'll be watching again next December, JP. January.
Well, I mean, listen, I think JP, and I know we're getting up on a hard break.
Yep.
And not being in there today for multiple reasons. Just tell me when to shut up. But I am. I want to talk about, because I think the big story is where does this team, because today was the first day that the Jacksonville Jaguars could start asking permission to talk to assistant coaches on other teams.
Correct.
And could actually officially start the coaching search. And let's talk about where do they go? What is the plan moving forward? We have not gotten it right as an organization for a while now. I think that's pretty clear based on the records. It's wins and losses. It's the best way to measure it. Coming off a tough season with the Urban Meyer stuff and where there was so much hoopla, and I've never seen a fan base and organization turn from being so excited about getting an individual to wanting him gone as fast as it happened. And, what happens with the GM? Is Trent Baalke going to be involved? Is he not? I mean, let's talk about that, because this next decision that Shad Khan has to make is critical to the future of this organization. We have a young quarterback. We have a franchise quarterback, in my opinion, but you better surround him with the right people and the right culture and the right organization to have success. And, we need to get it right this time.
Hey, by the way, Pete, you'll like this. The Omni was closed and demolished in 1997, just for the record, in Atlanta.
Well,
thank you.
Now the Omnicron is being destroyed by Boselli.
Unbelievable. Well, believable. Plenty ahead. Second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour, coaching search talk, your social media questions, and much more. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Everyone's so busy keeping up. Forget about the Joneses. We all on our telephones with the texts and the tweets and the beats. What he said, she said, can't even follow the thread. Down the hole, we all go. Me, I like keeping up too, with my Corona and my attitude. That's La Vida Más Fina.
Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for football watching. Just look for 20-ounce Pepsi products in the cooler door at your local Gate convenience store and see how you could win an exclusive VIP experience at the Jacksonville Zoo and an opportunity to eat lunch with a Jaguars player. Eat with a big cat. Courtesy of Pepsi and Gate. No purchase necessary. Visit jaguars.com/zoo for official rules and details. Ends 12/31/21.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler Creative can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose between a collection of response channels from email and SMS, texting to land pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At Ameris Bank, we know that you have a dream. Maybe it's opening a second location for your business. Maybe it's owning a home. Perhaps it's building your nest egg or even buying that new piece of equipment. From car loans to corporate loans, from depositing your first check to setting up your business's payroll, we're here to make your dream possible. It's possible together. See what's possible at amerisbank.com/stories. Ameris Bank is a member FDIC. All loans are subject to credit approval.
Enjoy fall savings going on right now at Renewal by Anderson. Buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off, plus $50 off each window and door. There's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Designed to withstand the harshest weather environments. Visit rbafla.com for more. This offer expires December 31st and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Yeah, I was really proud of him. Today. You know, I thought he did a really good job of managing the game. He took he took the check downs that were there. He took the shots that were there. That's probably the thing that impressed me the most was the shot opportunities that he had that he took those. And, you know, whether it's the one early in the game down to Treadwell, you know, they got a pass interference. Even late, you know, the ball that he threw to Tavon there on the right side, their sideline in that 2-minute drill, did a really good job of taking that. So, you know, I like the throws he was taking, and then when they covered it deep, he took the check downs and got a lot of completions. I don't know what he ended up, but I like the way he played today.
That's interim head coach Gerald Bevel discussing Trevor Lawrence's day at the office at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey yesterday in Week 16, a Jaguars loss. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. Hour number 2, your social questions coming up. We'll go around the NFL as well. All right, so 26-21 the final score. The Jags offense did move the ball. They had the ball in their hands in the final 2-minute drive, but came up a yard short. The Jaguars defense was depleted, gave up 273 rushing yards, tied for the 4th most allowed in Jaguars franchise history. The special teams had a rough day again. Another kickoff return touchdown, 6 total returns for the Jets for 228 yards. And now the Jags have dropped 7 straight for a 2-13 record. Now it's on to New England to face Bill Belichick, Mac Jones, and the New England Patriots in Week 17. Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli back with us. Well, Boselli's hands and his phone are back with us. I don't know. It was right in front of the camera a second ago. I don't know.
Well, he's eating.
What are you eating?
Sorry, my daughter made me some food. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Well, what are you eating?
It's like it's these little like toasted French breads with some kind of dip. It's outstanding.
What a spoiled father you are.
Unbelievable.
Huh?
It really is.
It's amazing. Is that what that doesn't? That's like a snack too. That's not dinner.
Oh no, this is our hors d'oeuvres.
It's an app.
I have five kids. If you don't know that, you do now. 2 boys who are older and 3 girls who are younger. I love my boys. We're tight, but they are useless when it comes to like taking care of dad. My 3 girls are rock stars. Like I am like a king. This is like my castle, and I get served. They're just such good girls. I'm like, I love being. I'm glad that I have boys and girls because they're so different. But the saying that girls love their daddies, it's like, I'm telling you what, what's that old saying? Being a girl dad or a dad girl, whatever.
Girl dad.
Girl dad. It's a good thing. So yeah.
She knows the way to your heart is through your stomach.
Oh yeah, she knows she can have the credit card and go do whatever the heck she wants. She's smart. So yeah, that was my second daughter who made this, Alexis. So she's all 3 of my girls are good girls.
How about that? Very nice. We're all jealous.
Sorry,
that's for sure.
I kind of just. What were we talking about? Football.
Defense. The poor defense.
Yeah, poor defense, offense at the goal line at the end, and now it's really about moving forward here. Today is the day where the window can open to start interviewing over Zoom candidates that are still in the National Football League. You can talk to anybody that's not in the league at any time you want, but the window opened today, and Tony, you brought it up. What is the general description of what you would like around here? First of all, start with the parameters.
Yeah, well, I'd back up even before that, JP. I think the first thing is what's the process going to be and who's going to be involved? It's something that Shad has kept pretty close to the vest for the most part throughout the years of how this process goes. And I think the biggest question right now, and I have no sense in I don't think anything you hear out in the national media, I would not believe any of it. Not that any of the national reporters are doing a bad job, but I don't think anyone really knows outside of Shad Khan and maybe his closest advisors is what is he going to do with the GM? because that'll dictate what the process looks like. Is Trent Baalke going to be involved? Is he going to be the GM next year? And if he is, will he be involved in picking the next head coach? And
he was involved in picking the last head coach.
Yeah, I don't know if he was. I mean, he was.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Well, I don't want to go backwards, Pete, and debate that one way or another, because I mean we could go back and forth, and because each of us have only heard partial information. Because I know for a fact you haven't sat down and talked to Shad specifically, nor have I on the topic. So I'm not going to speculate looking backwards, but we can look forward and if he's going to be a part of the process or not.
Wait, you didn't see Pete going on the boat the other week? No, I mean, come on.
Pete, no, Pete's not. Pete's the outsider. But Pete, you know, I'm half joking about the past. I'm more looking forward. I mean, Pete, you agree. The next biggest decision is that you have, and I think you need to make it before you pick your next head coach. Are you sticking with Trent Baalke as your GM? Because if I'm a head coach interviewing for this job, I want to know.
Right.
Is this the guy I'm going to be tied to?
If he's interviewing me, is he going to be the guy? I want to know that.
I want to know.
By the way, you say I'm an out. Well, I had influence in getting the coach fired.
Oh my, we can pick that. That's a whole show by itself.
No, I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. I'm kidding. I said it long before most people said it, but I had no bearing whatsoever on that. None, zero. Nor would I pretend to think that's the case. When I tell you this stuff, I tell you from what I would do if it was my team.
No, that's right.
And if it was my team, Trent Baalke would be gone. I'll be honest with you. I just think you need fresh, new blood, new start. And so why, and like you hear talk and scuttlebutt that maybe Shad likes Trent and he might keep him. I don't think that's a good decision. And it's not look, Trent had his moment. He had his moment in San Francisco, a bunch of them. He had his moment there. It needs new. It needs fresh. Now, who that is, to be determined. But I don't think it's the right thing to say, okay, well, we got rid of Urban Meyer, but we're going to keep the general manager because the roster's so stocked. So let's keep the general manager.
Right.
I mean, so I just think you have to move on. Look, I'm going to say some things that I probably shouldn't say, but I think they need a figurehead.
That's never stopped.
No.
They need a figurehead, but you might stop. They need a figurehead in the organization. They need not a figurehead, but a guy who can trickle down. And I've said this before. I've said it over the years. I think you need to have some kind of role in the building.
Yeah,
John Elway-ish.
Pete, I'm going to stop you there because I do not want to have that conversation. I'm not going to have it on air.
No, I'm not going to have it on you. I'm just giving my opinion. Yeah, I'm not. You and me have never talked about this. I'm just telling you, whether it's you or somebody else, they need somebody above that GM. And they need that guy to hire the GM, and the GM and that guy to hire the coach. That's what they need to do.
I want to go a different direction on this. I think it's critical, and I think it's a fair conversation of what structure the organization should have and how, and that's fine. Like, I don't even, if anyone brings my name up, I'm shutting down the conversation because I have nothing to do. Like, I have less to do with this than you do, Pete. So I have nothing to do with it. I'm sitting on the show having this conversation with you.
I get it, but I'm just saying the structure of the organization, whether it's you or whoever, somebody in that role down.
But the bigger issue now with the window opening to go interview coaches, I think you have to make a declarative statement to set the tone whether he's going to be here or not, because that's going to impact who you want to get and how the interview goes and what.
So basically, you decide today whether you fire him now or
I would
have to. You have to. So if he's here tomorrow, then the decision isn't being made.
Well, I also don't. I mean, yes, the window's open today. I also don't think you have to, like, oh my gosh, let's race because we might miss out on the guy. Because unless you plan on hiring the guy before in the next 2 weeks, which I don't, and I'll tell you what style coach I go to in a second. I'm not as worried about that. So no, I don't think if we don't hear something tomorrow, it's too late. I just think
again, you're right though, Tony. If Trent is involved in the process, then he's going to have influence in the process. Right. Which, if he's not going to be here, it makes no sense for him to have influence in the process.
Agreed. That's my point. And so I think over the next week to 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, that it is important for Shad Khan to come out and say either Trent Baalke is the GM and he's moving forward and it's part of the process and that's how we're going to go, and we're going to go hire a head coach, or he's not. And I'm going to go rebuild, and I'm going to wipe it clean. To your point, your recommendation is wipe it clean, start fresh, and we'll argue the structure later. But you need a new GM, new head coach, and we're going to go do that and go find those individuals. That is an important thing, Pete, in my opinion, for the future of this franchise. That decision needs to be made because that will influence who the next guy is.
Well, okay, you can't. So if you're going to talk to somebody this week, Trent Baalke can't be involved in the influence of it unless he's the general manager.
Unless you know
he's the general manager.
In my opinion, if Shad Khan were to ask me, I say either keep him or don't. That's your call.
Right.
But if you're not going to keep him, he can't be involved in the process.
I agree, 100%. That's the way it should be. And if he's not involved in the process, then who is?
Well, I don't have an answer for that, Pete. I have no idea.
Call me.
I don't fully understand who was in the process the last hires.
Well, Trent was.
I mean, Trent was in the interviews. I don't know how the decision was made or anything else.
But again, I'm going to go back to structure of organization. Here, lean on them. Here, hire them, and then they hire the next guy. And I just think if he gets rid of Trent, let's just say he gets rid of Trent, who's running it? Who's running the search? Who's making those interviews? Who's talking football with the guy in the room? That's the problem.
Pete, I agree. I mean, you and I are on the same page here. I mean,
let's be honest about Trent's body of work, okay? He did some good things in San Francisco. You can't take it away from him. You can't.
No,
he did some good things.
I would never
had some issues with some of the coaches in San Francisco. We know that. They're well documented. They're well documented.
Hold on. Let's make sure, because not everyone knows it like you and I do. He didn't hire Jim Harbaugh, but there was issues between him and Jim Harbaugh. And if you talk to a bunch of the media, and Pete, you probably know this better than I do, that Trent was part of getting him out of there.
Correct.
He hired Jim Tomsula. That did not.
Jim Tomsula does not like him one bit.
And I've heard the same thing, that Jim Tomsula is not a fan. He hired Jim Tomsula. Fired Jim Tomsula. He then hired Chip Kelly.
Correct.
Chip Kelly did not work out, and I heard there was major friction between Chip Kelly and Trent Baalke.
Well, I mean, and understandably so, because Chip Kelly can have friction with anybody, but that's a whole other story.
And I'm not, by the way, I'm not blaming Trent for this. I'm not saying this is all Trent's fault. I'm just saying.
No, but that's the way it was.
Fact.
That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. Then he comes here. He's second in command. Then he gets promoted, and while second in command, big from what I heard, big proponent of Urban Meyer. So that's his hire, essentially. He pushed for it. So he pushed for Urban Meyer, failure. His draft and his free agency, because that's him, failure. So why not just start over again?
Well, Pete, I mean, because I'm going to be consistent here, because I've never done it and I will never do it on this show. I'm not going to fire or hire anybody. And I'm fine with you doing it. You have a different role than I do. I will say this. The decision has to be made, and it needs to be crystal clear whether he's going to be the GM or not. I think that greatly impacts how you hire a coach. I think it impacts who will come be the head coach here. And so that needs to be done before you start the process. Because
Josh McDaniels isn't coming here to work for Trent Baalke.
I don't know that.
I don't know if Josh McDaniels is going to come here anyways, but he isn't coming there to work for Trent Baalke. I'll tell you that right now. He's not.
He didn't go to Indy. He went to Indy for a day and then left.
He didn't go to Indy, but the reason he didn't go to Indy supposedly was because there were issues with the interview, and he thought it over, and his family didn't want to go. That's different. Look, when your family doesn't want to go, you don't go.
By the way, for the record, Tony, didn't you try to fire Hayes on this show one time?
Yes, that's a good point. I did,
Hayes Carline.
Fire Hayes Carline, which is funny because Hayes is one of my favorite people in the Jacksonville media. But I do like giving Hayes a hard time, and he ticked me off that day. And if he does it again, I'll fire him again on the air.
Yeah, and who have I fired? I don't fire people on the show.
You fired Urban. I mean, just recently. I mean,
yeah.
You fired Urban. You fired Doug. You fired Dave. You fired everybody.
Wow.
It's nice to have hammer.
Yeah, I did fire Hayes. Yes, that's a good point, JP. I don't fire coaches. I fire media members.
That's right.
You know, it's just frustrating because they need to get it right. This is an organization that's been through misery and misery and misery, and they thought they got it right. They didn't get it right. They didn't get it right. They blew it. They hired the wrong guy. So get it right. And structure of organization matters. Who's he going to lean on? Who will he listen to?
I don't know, but this is right now where we sit as an organization. We have had 9 out of 10 seasons since he's been the owner, and it goes before him too. I'm just talking about Shad's time. So it was bad before he got here. I'm not putting this all on Shad by any means. And I said it all along. What's frustrating me, Shad has done a lot of great things as owner for this team. He has stabilized the franchise. There is no longer talk of it moving to another city. He has invested in it. He wants success. He has done so many good things. The problem is right now it has been so bad for 9 out of 10 years, double-digit losing seasons of 9 of the 10 years, that people are forgetting that. And his legacy is now tied to what is on the field, and it's not good. But the difference this time is he has a franchise quarterback. He has a guy who can be great. You have to get it right now. And if you get it right, you can flip this quicker than you ever had in the past because you have the guy at quarterback.
They have money, the right guy at quarterback, and an owner willing to spend, and they're building a new facility, and they have a passionate fan base. It's a great job. It's a great job. And look, you know what they need, Tony? Mark Lamping has been very successful on that side of the Jaguars. Very successful. They need that guy on the football side, and they haven't had it.
Well, my point, and I agree, Mark's been amazing. I mean, a lot of the stuff I just talked about, the business side, he's 100% responsible for under Shad. So there's no doubt about it. We've done great there. My point is, on the football side, you have to get it right this time. Because otherwise you are, and I said this during the season, all that matters right now is you have to build this thing around your franchise quarterback. And Pete, all the things you said, yes, you have Trevor Lawrence. Yes, you have money. Yes, you have new facilities. Yes, you have a great city. Yes, you have fan base. Yes, you have no state income tax. There's so many positives. None of it matters, Pete. None of it matters if you don't get the right hire.
I get it. So get the right guy. Get the right guy.
We'll take a timeout, but for the record,
but that's why I'm talking about, Pete. This next 2 weeks, and I think the first step is you have to determine what you're going to do with Trent. You have to.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Nobody keeps the guillotine sharper than Pete Prisco, for the record. That's for sure. Jaguars Game Day Radio is brought to you by ViStar Credit Union. Do good, bank better. We haven't kept it real enough yet. So since we haven't, we'll do that when we come back. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Hey Jags fans, this is Chris Manhurst of the Jacksonville Jaguars with a reminder that everyone has a right to arrive at their destination safely. In Florida, bicyclists have the same rights and the same responsibilities as drivers. When cycling, always wear a properly secured helmet, ride in the direction of traffic, and obey all traffic laws. When driving, get rid of distractions and focus on the road. Always watch for pedestrians and bicyclists, especially at night, because safety doesn't happen by accident. Visit alerttodayflorida.com for more safety tips.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too. Former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter.
Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Introducing Ultimate Jags, the free-to-play next-level fantasy football game. Open packs, collect players, build your roster, and pick your weekly lineup. Scratch and claw your way up the leaderboard and compete against Jags fans for fantastic prizes. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play and get ready to win.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday afternoon. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. It's time for Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. I have not had any yet today. Our topic today, how concerned are you over the running back position at the moment after everything that's happened the last day?
Well,
Pete?
I'm
Tony?
concerned I'm concerned because it was one of the positions I thought you could at least like check the box and say, okay, we don't have to spend too much time in the offseason on, because you have to spend so much time in other places offensively, in my opinion. I mean, you got to build your receiving core. You need a tight end. Is it maybe Dan Arnold and can be that matchup issue? I think you got to build the interior of our offensive line. And so I was hoping that running back would be the one position, like, okay, check the box, quarterback, check the box, left tackle, check the box, we're good. That's not the case now with James Robinson. I have no idea what Travis Etienne is. I have no idea. I didn't see anything in training camp that jumped off the page. I'm like, wow. But in fairness, Fred Taylor's first training camp, a lot of people were saying the same thing about him. Like, he couldn't even beat out. He did not beat out James Stewart. James Stewart was the starting running back until he blew his knee out, and Fred was not getting many touches. And now we all know what the career Fred Taylor had once he got on the field. So maybe that's Travis Etienne. I don't know, but there's question marks now that I didn't think I was going to have because I was comfortable with James Robinson for sure being a guy I could count on. That's not the case now.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, and more so than anything, I feel bad for James. Like I said earlier, I just think it's a tough blow for the kid. It's hard to come back from that when you're a running back. I mean, people do it. Don't get me wrong, but that's a tough injury. But you made a good point, I think you did, Tony. Medicine has come a long way, and that used to knock you out for a whole year, bare minimum. Yep. So like an ACL used to, and it's not the case anymore. So, maybe I don't think he'll be back. Maybe he's a pup guy for the first part of the season or something next year. But that also means you don't have a running back unless Etienne's all the way back, and we don't know where he's going to be. That's right. I mean, that's a major injury too for a running back, a Liz Frank foot injury.
You mess with the feet, ankles of a running back, that worries you. Now, Liz Frank's no joke. So your question, I mean, your point is 100% correct, Pete. I have big concerns at the running back position. I think it's something you have to address in the free agency or the middle of the draft now, and that's not something I would want to do because you have so many positions to fill.
Or, here's a novel idea. Get a system where it just works no matter, like the 49ers, whoever runs the football.
No,
I mean, I can go back to the days when you guys played the Broncos back in the day. It didn't matter. They threw Derek Lavelle back there, and he went for over 100 in the fourth quarter against you guys one game. In the fourth quarter.
Man. Thanks, Pete.
But you know what I mean, Tony? You get it, too. If you run that kind of scheme or something, the back itself, if you have a guy that can make a cut here and there, like you said about the other guy doesn't cut, then it'll work, whoever it is. How many guys have the 49ers rolled through in the last couple of years that run the football and have run it well?
Well, the best one they have is Debo Samuel.
Yeah, right
but
now.
Okay, but Elijah Mitchell, who they found in late rounds, was running wild until he got hurt.
Sure. No, I agree with that.
Jeff Wilson when he goes in sometimes. I mean, back to Matt Breida when he was there. I mean, those guys all run the football.
So, but Pete, my point is now you have to spend a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round draft pick to get a guy.
Correct.
I mean, and you were hoping you didn't have to do that.
You probably would have had to at some point you had to use a 4th, 5th, or 6th round pick in the back anyway just to do it.
That's fair.
So that was Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. We have a boatload of social media questions today.
Okay.
Inquiring minds want to know about this Jaguars team. We'll get some answers when we come back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
This season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for football watching. Just look for 20-ounce Pepsi products in the cooler door at your local Gate convenience store and see how you could win an exclusive VIP experience at the Jacksonville Zoo and an opportunity to eat lunch with a Jaguars player. Eat with a big cat. Courtesy of Pepsi and Gate. No purchase necessary. Visit jaguars.com/zoo for official rules and details. Ends 12/31/21. Roof Claim is a proud supporter of professional football and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They built their company on an idea that homeowners deserve to be winners. When a home is damaged by severe weather, Roof Claim can identify the damage, work with your insurance company, and help you professionally replace your roof. At Roof Claim, they make protection simple. Visit their website at roofclaim.com to schedule your free drone or in-person inspection. You expect Jags fans to say, Duval. You expect the Beard Stadium's going to be cold, the dogs will be hot, but what you don't expect is an airport hotel with a renovated inviting lobby, a cool bar, and crowded restaurant, or 10,000 square feet of space just waiting for your next family or business event. At the Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport, you should always expect to be surprised. Book online or call 1-877-2-CROWN. That's 1-877-227-6963.
You know Scrubbles is the best car wash in town with our newest location at Kernan and Atlantic. But listen to this. Scrubbles is offering the first ever car wash family plan. Purchase any of our monthly plans and get a $5 discount for up to 3 additional family members. As always, with every wash, you can enjoy free-to-use wipe-down towels, self-service cleaning stations, and that great-smelling Scrubbles air freshener. Visit us today at any one of our convenient locations. Scrubbles, you'll know quality once you arrive.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday afternoon. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. The Jags lost to the Jets yesterday. 7 straight losses for the Jags, a 2-13 record, 2 games to go. This week, the Jags will face the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, a place they've never won. And then in week...
Okay, hold on.
What?
JP, I got to interrupt you. Did you watch as we were coming back? Who are you blowing kisses to, Pete?
I'm not blowing kisses anyway. I got a contact.
I missed that.
No, you
Who am I blowing kisses to?
I don't know.
I got a hair in my contact lens that's just destroying
He's got a hair in his contact. He's blowing kisses.
He's blowing kisses to people.
I
Turn
am
your
not.
video off. It's distracting. Who are you kissing?
Let me keep eating.
Wow. My
Sorry,
gosh.
JP, go ahead.
No, hey,
JP, go
I said enough. This is more entertaining than 7 straight losses. I'll say that. Let's get to social media questions. Number, we got a bunch of them.
These ought to
today.
be good. This ought to be good.
At the Duval Special, how much of the O-line can be fixed this offseason?
Well, the whole thing's going to be fixed.
Okay, you already said you're tagging Cam Robinson, bare minimum, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so tag, Norwell gone, Linder gone. Linder was bad yesterday of all of them. He was probably one of the worst ones. Right guard, Arch.
I think you're keeping Barch, you're keeping Will Richardson, you're keeping Shatley.
So you're keeping all the backups.
I think you end up keeping Juwan Taylor. Like one thing I would do.
Well, he's not expensive.
No, he's not. One thing I would do, Pete, and I just don't know who's like making these decisions down there now. I think I'd put Juwan Taylor on the bench and go put Walker Little out there and say, you're playing right tackle for 2 weeks. I want to see what you can do. Or put him.
You said that last week, and I would consider it myself.
Or you know what else? Hey, Norwell, you're going to sit. I'm putting Walker Little. You're going to play left guard. See if you can play guard.
I would consider that too. He's got to play somewhere the last 2 weeks.
You got to see.
Well, maybe he's the left guard this week if Norwell's out.
Yeah,
so he might be.
Norwell's out. So
put him in.
And Barch is on the COVID list, right?
Yes.
He might be off by next week. He's on it. Well, the question, what we don't know is Barch vaccinated or unvaccinated. Because if he's unvaccinated, he's there for 10 days no matter what.
So, okay, so if he's out and Norwell's out, then Little almost has to start at left guard.
I would start him no matter what, Pete. I want to see what he can do.
I agree. And so, okay, so offensive line, one sure guy back in his spot if you want to tag him. That's it.
Well, I'm tagging him.
That's a lot. That's a lot of new faces.
Guys will be on the roster next year. That's the question. Who's on the roster next year?
What do you mean, who's on the roster?
Which guys are coming back?
Oh, from an
offensive line standpoint.
I think Cam, Barch, Little. I think Juwan Taylor's coming back. He's been up and down. He's done some good, some bad. Shatley's back. Casey McDermott's back.
So Norwell, Linder all gone.
I don't know about Cam. I don't know. Is his contract up?
I think so.
And I don't know what.
He makes too much money.
We had a knee injury, and I don't know.
Well, he didn't play well. He didn't play well before he got hurt.
But he played so well last year. Is my point, Pete.
He did. He did.
I'd love to have Linder back, but Linder just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, at some point you got to move on from that.
Yeah, Cam is a free agent after the season.
Yeah, so he's gone.
Yeah, my guess is those three are gone. That's my guess.
So they need to find some offensive linemen.
That's a lot.
And that's hard to do in the NFL where there aren't many.
That's right.
It's a struggle. Our next question, social media.
Which means, by the way, you might not be able to do it, Pete. You might have to bring those guys back.
That's true. At Devil X Jaguar X82, year in and year out, why are the Jaguars so undisciplined? Silly penalties, drop passes, can't get lined up. I could go on. I just want them to look competent and be competitive. Is that too much to ask?
I don't know about year in, year out. I would love when fans do this. Pete, fix your eye. When people make these general statements over years and years, I don't remember and maybe it's the case. Maybe Devil X Jaguars 82 has a better sense than I do. That the silly penalty. I don't remember last year that they were a bad team last year. I don't remember silly penalties or undisciplined play last year. They were just bad.
Bad teams, poorly coached, may have a lot of penalties. I mean, that's
what I was just gonna say. When you're a bad team, typically you get more penalties and make dumb mistakes, and you're the inferior team, and you look like you don't belong.
And drop passes are a result of
this year. This year's bad.
Bad receivers. Well, they're not good. They're not good. I mean, ideally, Treadwell right now is probably their best receiver, and he should be a 4.
He wasn't on the team middle of the season.
Right. At best case scenario, he's a 4. He looks like a 4th receiver. That's what he is. He's their best receiver right now. How about, there was a play yesterday where they actually crossed. Do you remember this play? And they almost ran into each other again. Did you remember it, Tony?
I can't do it. Let's go to the next question.
Marvin Jones had to sideswipe.
Pete wants all these picks and rubs. Well, that's what you get. At Carnival Thomas,
Run the play the right way, damn it.
Do you have any thoughts on rushing quarterbacks faking going out of bounds? Now, we touched on this a minute ago, but I think we all came to the conclusion it was just a nice run by Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think he was.
I still think he faked it.
Who cares if he faked it?
Oh, here we go. Pete's flip flopping again. The flipper. Here comes flipper. JP.
I gotta watch. I haven't watched the defensive tape yet. You can't tell off the TV tape. I'll watch it on the defensive tape. I'll tell you that.
He's the flipper.
When I watched it initially, I thought he faked it. I thought it was the Kenny Pickett thing, only on the sideline. They should have. Okay, if they had blasted him on the sideline, would they have gotten the penalty?
Not if he's in bounds.
He was in bounds. He shouldn't have, at least.
And guess what? If you're Rudy Ford, if you go take the right angle and you cut him off in front of him,
that's a whole other story, Boselli, taking the right angle. If somebody had taken the right angle, he would have no chance to get that run.
Well, here's another thought, too.
Then you force it. You force him to make the right decision, which is going out of bounds.
Yeah, so is it worth just popping him one time so he doesn't do it again? So he thinks twice about it?
Next time, if I'm Rudy Ford, the next time we play the Jets and Zach Wilson, I'm going to take his head off and say, okay, dude, you made me look bad, and I got.
Okay, but why is that, Tony? Why is that?
What?
Why are you going to take his head off?
Well, because.
What did he do wrong? According to you, he did nothing wrong.
I agree he did nothing wrong. I'm just saying, as a player, you want to try to make up because you looked bad, and you can say, I'm going to take it out on you.
Not because he made him look bad, because he looked like he might be going out of bounds and he slowed up. That's not what you're saying.
No, because he didn't slow up. If you look at it, he never slowed up, Pete.
Moving along.
Why are you shaking your head? Go fix your
eyes. Because he deked him.
Hey, he okey-doked him a little bit. That's okay. It's part of it. Yeah, that's fine. Next question.
Yeah, I'm with Tony. I'd take his head off next time I saw him.
Yeah, I agree. Litigious Kanga 1. All of a sudden, with J-Rob's injury and Etienne's comeback uncertain, running back looks like a serious need heading into the offseason. How devastating is it to add yet another position of need for this depleted roster? Yeah, they've already had a long list.
We already talked about this. It's an issue.
Well, you know what? Adrian Peterson will probably be willing. He plays wherever he can get all 32 teams in the league before it's over with. Le'Veon Bell?
Wow.
Not good.
Get the right offensive system in there, and you can plug in the running back. I'm telling you.
But what is the highest round you would take a running back, Pete? Just in general.
Well, I mean, if I was doing the draft and Fred Taylor was coming out and I get him in the second round, I'd take him.
Second round, though. You're still not a first-round running back guy.
No, the game has evolved. So if Fred Taylor played today's game, you could split him out wide. He'd catch 65 passes. So, yeah, I'd consider him in the first round. Somebody like that.
What about Jonathan Taylor?
How good would Jonathan Taylor be if he was running behind the Jaguars' offensive line?
How about Derrick Henry?
How good would he be running behind the Jaguars' offensive line?
Derrick Henry's good behind any offensive line. They've changed that thing over, and they're not great at Tennessee.
Yeah, I'd probably take one of those two in the first round, back end. But if I had, let's put it this way, if I had a pass rush problem, which I think the Jaguars do, I'm not taking the running back over the pass rusher.
I agree with that.
Next question. Social media rolling along today. At Nick Pope Joy, is Mac Jones going to run for 100 yards next week? I would guess no, but yeah. No.
Mac Jones was not very good last week against the Bills.
No, he was exposed a little bit in that game, and he's a Jacksonville kid, but everybody had him in the Hall of Fame, and that slowed after yesterday. That slowed a little bit.
That's right.
Still nothing down the field from him much, right, Pete?
No, not at all.
Not a short
It was bad. He was bad yesterday. At one point, I think he was 5 for 18. He was bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good, Coach.
Not good, Coach. Next question. Social media bringing it today. At Eric M. Davenport, Trevor looked as comfortable as he has since the bye week. What was done differently scheme-wise that made him look like who we've been expecting to see from a number one overall? And is it sustainable?
There was no pass rush. You're playing against the worst defense in the NFL, who had 7 starters out because of COVID.
It was pitch and catch. It was a 7-on-7 drill.
Come on. I mean, that's not good. Like, be balanced. I'm not going to kill Trevor before the way the season's gone. I still think he's going to be a franchise quarterback, be really good. I'm also not going to say everything's fixed because what they did against the Jets. And by the way, that's the worst defense, the worst scoring defense. They were without 7 starters, and they still only managed 21 points.
Yep.
And by the way, receivers were actually open yesterday. That's how bad that defense was.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, they don't get open.
Slid it right in there. Next question, social media, Twitter today, at B for Brendan. What did you guys think of Walker Little's performance as a slot wide receiver? Could that role be expanded in the future, given our receiving woes and current depth at tackle?
We're not doing this. Move on.
Hashtag 4 to 6, A to B.
No, move on. We're not doing this. It's stupid.
By the way, I wonder, Pete, maybe you know this. You've been around a while. How many times in league history have there been 2 touchdowns by offensive linemen in the same game?
It's pretty amazing. You saw that, right? I mean, I don't think that's happened. I do know this. Dak Prescott was the first time that a guy's thrown a touchdown pass to a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, and an offensive lineman in the game.
That's crazy. Spreading the wealth. Of course, Will Richardson recovered.
Selly, you never had a ball thrown to you, did you?
No, I was never even eligible. Tom didn't do it. I blame him.
Weren't you a tight end in high school, too?
Yes. I think I could have averaged like 20, 30 catches a year if they would have given me the opportunities.
Yes, you were. That big old lumbering body coming down. They would have been – no way. You're crazy.
I wonder if he had like 2 or 3 touchdown receptions, he'd already be in the Hall, Pete. What do you think?
Well, we'll know if he's making the final list on Thursday, right? They cut it down on Thursday.
It's coming up this week.
Yeah,
Thursday.
I hope both you and Fred make it the finalists.
I do too. It'd be great.
And Leroy Butler. I was on radio in Milwaukee the other day with Leroy. I said it'd be a great ceremony if Tony, Leroy, and Fred all got in the same year. That'd be fantastic.
It'd be fun.
That'd be a heck of a week in Canton for sure. A couple questions left on Twitter today. This is at Waxer564. Pete and Tony, if you were the GM, what are you doing with a first overall pick? Pick a pass rusher or trade back?
Depends. What am I going to get for trading back?
Right. If I can trade back and get the Giants 2 first-round picks, I'm trading back.
Yeah. I mean,
if I get 2 first-round picks from the Eagles, I'm trading back. If you get 2 first-round picks, you're trading back.
Well, it depends. Are those? I don't want to go all the way back to the end of the first round.
You would take 1 in the 10 and one in the top 10 and 1 in the
one has to be in the top 10 is my point.
Yeah, I would trade back. If I could trade back, I'm trading back. I don't think there's don't get me wrong. Hutchinson and Thibodeau are both really good players, but I still think there's so many needs on this team that you have to address them.
But Pete,
who's going up to get? Who's going to? Right, nobody.
There's no one giving a top 10 and another first rounder to go up to number 1.
No, not without a quarterback in this spot.
Teams only do that for the quarterback.
Right, and there's no quarterback, so they're going to be stuck picking one. So who are you picking?
I don't know. I've seen glimpses of both.
It's either going to be to me. It would either be Hutchinson or Thibodeau, one or the other.
You don't like the tackle from Alabama?
No, he's good, really good, but I think you can get a lineman. And you drafted a lineman in the second round that's supposed to be starting next year.
Well, that's what you have to find out in the last 2 weeks, Pete. You got to play him.
I'm with you, Tony. I agree.
One more social media question. This is from at UCF_Jaguar. Why do guys like Mike Mayock and Louis Riddick get GM interviews, but Pete doesn't? Is Pete not as smart as he leads on to believe?
Good point. I think that must be it. Pete is a secretly dumb person.
Well, you know what? Let me think. Mike Mayock hasn't done so well, has he?
Did they win the other day? They won yesterday.
Yeah, but they haven't been in the playoffs. He hired Gruden, he was part of the Gruden thing.
Yeah, all right.
He didn't hire Gruden.
No.
And what about Lou Riddick? He was part of the dream team in Philadelphia. Hey, okay, here's all you need to know about Mike Mayock. He drafted Cleveland Farrell when he could have had
That one right
Fourth
there.
overall. That's fourth overall. That draft, they had 3 first-round picks. They drafted Cleveland Farrell, Josh Jacobs, and who was the third one? There was one other one, and it didn't work out.
Josh Jacobs is a good player.
He's a serviceable runner. I mean, what is a serviceable runner? Do you stop when Josh Jacobs goes, oh my God, what a player? No. Who was the other pick in that draft? It wasn't Jonathan Abram, was it?
I don't remember.
Was it corner? Well, he drafted him too, and he's not any good.
It would have been, let's see, Farrell was at number 4 overall.
That's the mystery. I like. What were we
and I heard from people. I'm gonna say I heard from people that they were all pushing for Devin White, and that was John Gruden going rogue on Cleveland Farrell. So defensive Mike Mayock.
It was Jacobs, and then it was Jonathan Abram, the safety from Mississippi State.
Yeah. So, okay, you got a bust with the 1 at 4. Jacobs is a serviceable running back, nothing special, and Jonathan Abrams is a box safety. Bad draft.
I love you, Pete. Bad draft.
Well, that's one side of it.
So
What would you have picked, Pete?
What
would you have picked then, Pete?
I wouldn't have taken Cleveland Farrell. Everybody knew he was an end that had no speed, no twitch. It was easy to see. He was a big end. Plus, should we go through the history of those Clemson ends? I mean, remember Gaines Adams and all those busts back in? No. And I would never take a box safety in this era, ever. Just like the Seattle traded the picks for Jamal Adams. He's a box safety. What are these guys doing? Do they not know the game is an air game? It's an air game now. You don't take box safeties.
Thanks for all the social media questions today. I think we hit most bases in this edition.
Oh, yes, I'm smarter than Mike Mayock.
That's what I was waiting for. I mean, just the closing line. And that's all. I mean, that's all you need to know. Pete Prisco is smarter than Louis Riddick and Mike Mayock.
Thank you.
Just ask him.
Just ask him. He'll tell you. We're back with a look around the NFL in just a moment. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
As drivers, our surroundings are constantly changing. Like, when did this lane become a bike lane? And why can't I turn right on red here? And not just change, we have distractions too.
Grandma, look!
Cute ones, but nevertheless distractions. So it's important to always pay attention, especially around crosswalks. 1 in 4 traffic fatalities involve a pedestrian.
You're smart, Grandma.
Smart enough to know that safety doesn't happen by accident.
Alert today, alive tomorrow. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond. Introducing Ultimate Jags, the free-to-play, next-level fantasy football game. Open packs, collect players, build your roster, and pick your weekly lineup. Scratch and claw your way up the leaderboard and compete against Jags fans for fantastic prizes. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play, and get ready to win.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. Our final few minutes. We always go around the National Football League. Let's take a look at week number 16. Thursday, the Titans will win over the 49ers, 20-17. A couple of Saturday games. Packers over the Browns, 24-22. The Colts over the Cardinals, 22-16. So the Colts keep pace, at least in the AFC South. Falcons beat the Lions yesterday. The Buccaneers hammered the Panthers 32-6. The Bengals with an incredible day by Joe Burrow, one of 4 touchdown passes. Dan Horde on Cincinnati's ESPN 1530 and the Bengals Radio Network.
Burrow ready for the shotgun snap. Joe has the ball, drops back 3 steps. He fires, and it is caught by T. Higgins. Touchdown, Bengals, as he ran a post pattern, got position inside of Darryl Worley, and hauls in Burrow's 4th touchdown pass of the game.
525 passing yards, the 4th best passing day in league history, Pete.
It was incredible to watch. Now, the Ravens were down a bunch of guys, and they're banged up in the secondary, but that Bengals offense is really good. It's fun to watch, and he plays with that swagger. Look, Wink Martindale made the crack about not putting him in the Hall of Fame, and you know he didn't like it. I think Joe Burrow has it. He's going to be the real deal for a long time. And it's hard to believe that Jacksonville led them by 20 at one point in that game.
Yeah.
On the road. Yeah. I mean, and then, then whatever happened after the game happened, and that was the end of that. But I just think that Burrow's the real deal. I mean, that's a good team. They're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Yeah. They play the Chiefs this week, by the way.
It'll be a test. We'll find out if they're for real this week.
Right.
The Texans don't look now, they're on a winning streak. They beat the Chargers 41-29. The Rams over the Vikings 30-23. The Buffalo Bills go into Foxborough and get a big win on the road. Josh Allen to the tight end late. John Murphy on WGR Sports Radio 550 in Buffalo.
2nd and goal from the 2. Josh Allen going to go shotgun to snap. Keeps it himself. Josh flings it to Dawson Knox. Touchdown! Touchdown, Buffalo. They're headed to the exits now here in Foxborough. The Bills score a touchdown. Josh Allen to Dawson Knox for the touchdown.
That's your guy, Pete, Josh Allen.
Look, that was a proven game. People still had doubts about him and still had doubts about that team. They went in there, dominated that thing from start to finish. And it wasn't just on offense. Defensively, they were outstanding. And remember, this was the team that got pushed around in that game. But they had different guys were missing in that first meeting when the wind and all that. So the Bills are going to win a division now. They play Atlanta at home and the Jets at home. They're not losing again, so they win the division.
So, but if both teams win out, is it the Bills who win?
Yes, based on division record.
Division record. Right.
Yep. So
because
they're not losing at home to Atlanta and not losing at home to the Jets.
Well, they have the Patriots have the Jags and then the Jets and the Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, yeah. We'll
That's
get to
tough
them.
Game. Miami's a tough game. But Pete, is New England in the playoffs if they win one of the next 2? If they get to 10 wins?
Yeah, they'll be in. They're in.
Well, they got to play us first.
That's right. I mean, let's get serious here, Tony. You got a big game this week. Come on. Like the Jags are going to Foxborough.
That's what I said.
Eagles. Well, you already guaranteed it, JP. You still standing by it?
Well, the lock's gone now because the Jags lost to the Jets.
Yeah, but you can still say you got 3 out of 4. You're not standing by it either. You don't believe in it at all.
Double down. I'm going to lock it.
Oh my God.
Double down.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You look as foolish as Boselli when he locks them.
Well, Boselli locks always fail. Mine, only 3 out of 4 times are right.
JP, don't get baited in by Pete. I've done it too many times. You get baited to lock something that's a bad lock. You just got bamboozled.
Only got 2 opportunities left to lock something this season. Eagles over the Giants, 34-10. Thank you, Joe. The Bears over the Seahawks in the snow, 25-24. The Chiefs blew out the Steelers, starting with an early Clyde Edwards-Helaire touchdown. Mitch Holtis on 106.5 The Wolf and the Chiefs Radio Network.
The Chiefs go giant, because Allegretti and Blythe in. They only have 8 offensive linemen eligible, and 7 are in right now. They try it on a push left side, breaking up a hit, angling near side, touchdown! Kansas City! Clyde Edwards-Helaire was hit in the backfield, would not be denied, and angles near side, and the Chiefs get a touchdown on their first drive of the game.
Pete, they just beat the hell out of the Steelers, and I'll say Big Ben just doesn't look even close.
Well, that team isn't any good. I mean, defensively, they got pushed around, too. They can't stop the run. Edwards-Helaire, by the way, got hurt again. He looks like he's going to be one of those guys that's always hurt. Just when they get going, they put guys in there. Williams went in and ran it. Gore ran in and ran it. I mean, they can run the ball. They're back.
And they're playing good defense.
Yes. They're the best team in the AFC. Don't you think right now it's going to be Chiefs, Bills, Bucks, Packers?
Yes.
That's the Final Four. The Raiders over the Broncos. They took the lead in the third quarter. Brent Musburger on the Compass Media Las Vegas Raiders Radio Network.
Barber now will be right next to Carr. First down and goal from the 5. Opening series of the second half. Now it's Barber turn. Daylight dives over the top.
Signal? Anybody? Signal?
No signal yet. Jackpot, baby! Vegas touchdown.
I'm like you, Brent. I didn't see a referee signaling anything.
They were just walking back there, meandering about.
Interesting call there. The Raiders going to win, though, Pete, in the division.
What was he waiting for? You could see it.
Waiting for the signal,
right
waiting for the hands in the air. I don't know.
Yeah, he scored. That's a big win for the Raiders. Now they got a big game. Now they play a pseudo playoff game this week at Indy.
That's a tough game.
Tough game.
It's not a great matchup for the Raiders.
No, it's not.
The way Indy wants to play and run the ball, it's tough.
Indy is that danger team in the postseason.
Well, because they're physical and they play good defense.
Right.
Cowboys over Washington. They found out they won the division, then they went out and beat Washington 56-14. Are you scared of Dallas moving ahead here?
Dallas is the one team. Here's what Dallas is. If they get the lead, they're going to be so dangerous because they can rush the passer with so many different guys now. You got Lawrence back, you got Gregory, you got Parsons. They can all rush the passer, and so they got to play with the lead because they're not a big defense. They can get pushed around a little bit in the run game. What's with your lighting over there? Is the house so dark?
It must be dark outside.
Did you not pay your electric bill this month or something? What is that?
I started the show out on the porch, looking at the ocean. I'm staying in the condos. We're building a new house. And it just started getting dark, and I just looked at my camera. I'm like, oh, it's really dark. I can't even see me. So I just my phone and lit myself.
Hey, can you tell us some ghost stories while you're at it? It'd be great. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to produce and do everything over here.
You're doing a great job, Tony. Time for Monday Night Football. After starting 1-7, the Miami Dolphins have reeled off 6 straight wins. They hold their playoff destiny in their hands. They could move into the 7th seed in the AFC playoffs via the 5th tiebreaker. With a win tonight, the 7-7 Dolphins head to the Big Easy. They'll face rookie quarterback Ian Book and the 7-7 New Orleans Saints with backup Blake Bortles. Who you got tonight in the Superdome?
What's your evaluation of that, Tony? What's your evaluation of that?
It was okay. It was better than last week. Last week was so bad. It was embarrassing. He rebounded a little bit.
It's better than your lighting. Better than your lighting. I'll say that.
You started well. You kind of faded on that one.
He didn't finish strong, Pete.
No, he didn't finish.
Who you got in the Superdome, Pete? Answer the question.
I have the Saints. I think Sean Payton relishes this. You know what I did the other day? I went back and watched Ian Book preseason tape to see what he was like. I liked him, and I liked him there. Ian Book will play well tonight. I'll take the Saints.
Well, remember the question they asked earlier is why does Pete not have a GM job? Is he dumber than Mayock and Riddick? Yes, the answer is he's dumber. It's the Dolphins all day, all night in the Big Easy. Tua takes them to town.
There you have it.
Disagree.
Pete Prisco, have a good one. See you guys. Pete Prisco out of here. Tony Boselli is in the dark. For Joe Fortunato and Brent Reber, our entire crew, I'm JP Shadrick. The Jaguars are trying to snap a 7-game losing skid next week in New England. A bunch of guys on the COVID list. Of course, checking us out tomorrow afternoon, with Jaguars Happy Hour. That's at 4 o'clock on 1010XL, and then the Jaguars Coaches Show at 5 o'clock on the Jaguars Radio Network. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.